I built a writing app for fantasy authors, and if you're interested as to why that might be interesting, stick around through this video and I'm going to tell you why. I've been writing a fantasy novella for the last year or so, and I've run into so many different roadblocks for myself personally to actually getting the words onto the page. I know that I can't be the only one who deals with the problem of focusing on getting stuff out of your head and onto paper and then sticking with that specific thing. I've gone through so many different versions of things before really settling on one idea that I'm on right now and actually pushing through finishing that first draft. And amongst that whole process of getting confused and having my organization being all out of whack, I've run into so many different problems that have arisen from my previous workflow. So I used Google Docs before. I also used Microsoft Word, and then I had a bunch of stuff written on paper as well. And basically, I was having a really hard time of staying organized and then also just feeling motivated to complete what I was trying to do. It wasn't a question of whether or not I had the idea and that I wanted to tell a story. It was the process to tell the story that I was having a really hard time with. And I know that not everybody deals with that, obviously, but there's definitely somebody else out there who deals with that. And if you are somebody who dealt with that, then maybe what I'm working on can help you. Let me just show you what I'm working on here. It's called Codex Heim. It is essentially your living codex for your fantasy world. The intended goal here is to create a writing app that is solely focused to help fantasy authors write and get their stuff out the door, but to also have a really fun time in the process and not be so bogged down by the workflow. Now, I know that there's tons of different writing apps out there. Scrivener is something that people love to use, and absolutely they should. For me personally, I don't love the UI and the layout of things with Scrivener. So this is kind of one of those situations where I wanted to build something for me that fixed my problems and addressed my issues, and something that I really liked, and hopefully you guys like it too. So there's several systems in this app, but basically what you have is you have at your core, you have projects. Your projects are your books. So if you are writing a novel, your project will be that novel. Within that project, you have multiple drafts. You can have as many drafts as you want. And in that draft, you have per draft, manuscript, and outline. Because as you go through different drafts, you have obviously different manuscript versions and you have different outline elements that maybe things change over time. Now within each of those drafts, you've also got a whole slew of other things. You've got your entire world building system. Now this is one of the biggest things that I wanted to do for myself because I was starting to have continuity issues and really struggling to visualize what I was trying to put to paper because I had things in different folders on Google Drive and on Microsoft Word and on paper, and it was just really confusing. So the intention here is to bring all of your world building elements and entities into one specific place, and then to visualize those things as well. So as you go through those world building elements, for example, your characters, you have these really nice visual cards for each of your characters, and they go in depth in terms of the information that you want to have there. You can also organize them in really nice visual folders, which just for me is a small little thing, but it kind of helps to keep it organized and clean visually. It's less overwhelming. This is a system that I'm still kind of working on, but I really like the current iteration of it, and I think it makes a lot of sense and makes it a lot easier to navigate. Now, one of the things that I absolutely love the most about this app, and honestly probably the biggest thing that has helped motivate me to write more, is my writing goals system. Now, I think there are some writing apps out there that have writing goals. I think Scrivener has writing goals that are kind of built in. But if you use things like Google Drive or Microsoft Word or Paper, for example, you don't have this. This isn't a thing that you have. And I wanted to build a really robust writing goals feature that was like deeply integrated into the app to make it feel like something that you were always aware of. So in here, you can set daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, and then you can set an overall word count goal for the manuscript that you're working on. So for me, I have a word count of about 25,000 words for my novella. So I put that in there, and then it tracks every single word that you do. So it's constantly live adapting the percentage of that from 0 to 100% versus your manuscript goal that you set. And then based off of your daily, weekly, monthly goals, it's also live tracking that as well. And then it has a 30-day grid that shows each day on like a heat map what days you wrote more, what days you wrote less. And then when you click on that card, you can actually see the exact words that you wrote on that day versus the previous. It shows you your delta of your net change. If you subtracted words by added words, it shows the net difference between your previous total word count and your new total word count. And this is a really, really tiny feature, but I like it a lot when you're actually on the manuscript at the bottom of the manuscript, it shows your live word count and percentage toward your manuscript word count goal, which is just, it's a really tiny thing, but I don't know. For me, it helps to visualize, okay, I'm here. I'm seeing this as I write words. It's changing in real time. And just to talk about, like, when using Google Docs, it's small, but you always have to, when you open up Google Docs, you got to go in, you got to go to tools, and you got to turn on the word count every single time you open up your manuscript in Google Docs. But this is built in, ready to roll constantly. Okay, let's move on from the writing goals, because I really like that, but there's a ton of other things going on here. You've also got a notes feature. It's super, super simple. If you just want to write notes and keep things in mind, you have a super simple notes feature. You also have a to-do list. If there's, like, you want to make sure that you remind yourself that you're going to have to do something in chapter 5. Like, you can write it down in the to-do list. Very simple. It's got some organization in there so you can kind of see, keep yourself organized. It's just another little quality of life feature that doesn't exist in some other systems that I really, really like. Again, I know that there are other writing apps that have a lot of this stuff, but I built this from scratch for myself, and what can I say? There's also a global search feature, and it's pretty simple, but if you have something in your world building elements, maybe a character or a scene or something like that, you can type that in there and it will show up, and you can immediately be navigated to wherever that was. So it's just kind of an easy way of finding something that maybe you forgot about. Another thing that I personally really, really like, and I think is fantastic, I don't know if you guys will, but I think it's really neat. Like, I like to share what I'm writing with other people, even if it's not good right now. Like, I'm still in my first draft. I haven't finished it, and it's it's obviously bad right now, but I like sharing the idea of what I'm doing with people. But there's also the question of, safety and security with that, right? Because it's your idea, it's your intellectual property as you are writing it. So there's kind of the question of, like, how do you do that in a way that's safe where somebody isn't going to steal from you, right? So what I did is I put together this little system called sealed scrolls. So essentially what it is you can take a snapshot of your manuscript and you can securely send it to other people. You can do like a password if you want to on there. You can revoke access. You can delete it entirely. You can have it on a timed basis. Basically, it is a watermarked version of your manuscript that people can read, but they can't copy. And there's a lot of, like, back-end information that kind of tracks and makes sure, like, if somebody tries to do something nefarious, you have some tools that you can use to kind of see that and fight it a little bit. Obviously, this is a more niche thing, probably. Like, I don't see a ton of people just sharing this out online. It's more going to be privately sent to other people. But this is something that I kind of find to be very, very interesting. I like sharing my writing with other people, so this is a feature that I really like and I think is really cool. And the intention, I think, in the future is to be able to add some more interactive elements to that too. Like, if you want to send it to an editor that you're working with, you can allow them to write comments and make it very interactive. That's something that I'm going to plan on doing in the future as well. I also forgot to mention this on the dashboard. I have this really, really cool thing. So, like I mentioned, one of the biggest problems that I have dealt with is the daily motivation to sit down and write, because the way that my brain works, it's hard for me to focus on doing something that requires, like, my full attention. It's not that I don't want to do it. It's that, like, I have so many things vying for my attention internally, and I don't want to start doing something if I can't give it my full attention. So then sometimes I just won't write at all because of that. So this is super simple, super minor, but something that I think is a nice little feature to help nudge writers along. Every single day when you log into your dashboard, there is a bar at the top that says Wisdom from the Elders. And these are custom curated little affirmations, little bits of motivation to kind of nudge the writer to say, hey, maybe you should write today. And these are just things that I'm writing, and I think it's pretty cool. It's like, okay, I jumped on here, and for example, the one that I have today that's on there, it says, today is a great day to write your story. Grab your tankard, lay down your arms, and bless the world with your creativity. It's just kind of stuff like that. It really immerses you in the essence of what you're trying to do. I think it's pretty cool. Now, there's another really kind of incredible feature that I'm currently developing that I'm really, really excited about. I don't want to say it's gamification, but it's basically gamification. Another way to help you stay motivated to write. Now, I didn't know this was a thing, but my brother let me know afterwards, after I told him about it, that apparently Duolingo does this, where, like, if you have daily streaks and as you complete tasks and stuff, you get points and you kind of level up and stuff. I didn't know that was a thing, so I guess there's market validation right there for how that works. But basically what I'm doing is I'm creating your author sheet, which is like your character sheet if you've ever played Dungeons and Dragons. But basically, you as the author on your Codex Heim account have your author character. And in that, you have different variations of customization and rewards, and there's a progression system in this. So as you write words daily, you earn XP that takes you on the way to leveling up. As you level up, you get custom rewards like customization for the app, whether it be backgrounds or themes, or you can get badges or you can get titles. As you level up, you get more and more of that stuff to really customize your experience and your expression as an author on Codex Heim. But the only way to do that is to actually get on and write. You get XP for writing and daily streaks and for reaching goals and reaching milestones for your overall like writing goals. It's all tied into that. So the idea is to reward you for actually participating and writing as much as possible in the app. And as time goes on, we'll add more and more rewards and customization and stuff like that. I'm really, really excited about that because I think that is such a unique thing. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, dude, that would be so freaking cool. Like, in the process of me writing my novella, I'm rewarded with these really cool, you know, just kind of fun, cute RPG elements with my writing. It's just such a unique and interesting idea, I think, for something like this. I've never personally heard of anything. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I don't know. But I haven't heard anything like that existing for writers. So I feel like that'd be super freaking cool. And then we're going to have an ascension system. So like if you're a real power writer and you get up to a certain level, you'll be able to reset your level, but you'll get an exclusive reward for being an ascendant. And then you can kind of go back through the levels again. And if you continue doing that over and over again, then you can have more and more forms of customization and stuff like that to really show off what you're doing. In the future, I would love to have like a global leaderboard kind of system. That's something that I have to kind of figure out, but that'd be really, really cool. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. That system isn't built in here yet, but so here's the thing. I'm super, super excited about building this because it's really cool, in my opinion, to help me write. And I hope that there's people out there that might find it also interesting as well. So if you're interested in it, it's currently in alpha. Like I said, I'm developing it right now, but it is fully functioning. So I have it available right now. You can sign up to use it right now on my website, codexheim.com. If you want to check it out and try it for yourself before like actually subscribing to the subscription, because it's a monthly subscription to have it, there's a free demo that's on the website. You can literally just go to the website, you scroll down just a little bit, and there's a demo right there. You can actually explore the whole app in a demo that is just private there right on your browser. Once you refresh the page, everything that was done is gone. It's just a little demo that you can kind of explore. There's also a 7-day free trial that you can do if you select the Pro tier. And also if you, on your first month of the Pro tier, it's actually $10. And then after that first month, it's $15. So it's kind of an incentive to say, hey, you know, check out the Pro tier. You get a 7-day free trial, and then it's $10 for the first month, and then it goes to the regular $15 a month after that. But there's also the starter tier that is $5 a month. And that gives you one project, lets you go, get into the app and do everything you need to do. But if you have more projects and you want more really cool things, there's also an extraction feature that I'm toying around with having. The idea is that when you write your manuscript, it will pull out all of the information from the manuscript and fill up the world building entities for you. I don't know if I want that, to be honest with you. I'm kind of toying around with that. So if you have thoughts about that, let me know in the comments down below. The idea was like, if you have a lot of writing, maybe you don't want to break up your workflow to go into the world building and do that yourself. Maybe you just want it to be pulled out of your manuscript. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. It's currently a system that you don't have to use. It's fully opt-in if you want to. But that is only available on the Pro tier currently because it requires some more back-end stuff. So yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at. No idea if anyone's going to watch this, but hey, if you did and you're at this point, thank you. I appreciate it. I've been working on this for a while and I'm super excited about it and passionate about it. So I hope you find it interesting. If you did find it interesting, like I said, codexheim.com. I'll put the link to that in the description if I can. And you can check it out, do the free trial or whatever the case may be. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you have questions or concerns or whatever, you have comments about it, let me know in the comments down below. And I think what I'm going to do is weekly updates about Codex Heim and where things are at here on the YouTube channel. So I make short form videos already for my novella and for the app, but for the app specifically, I think I'm going to do these longer form videos once a week. So I don't know when exactly, but once a week, I think we're going to do that. So if you want to stay in the loop with everything, then definitely stick around, subscribe to the channel, maybe like the video if you're at all inclined. All right, I've rambled too much. Thank you so much, authors. I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you in the next one.